All right, back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing yet another beer from the Finback Brewery, and they're out of Queens, New York, and this is their Fast Flowing. So this is a double IPA that comes in at 8.6% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed at the time of review. This can is exactly 3 weeks old. So on the side here it says a double IPA dry hopped with Citra and Nelson Sauvin hops, brewed in collaboration with the Little Leeds Beerhouse in celebration of 4 years. So apparently they brewed this in collaboration with the Little Leeds Beer House over in Leeds in the UK because it was their 4th anniversary. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, I don't know if cans of this made it overseas to the UK, but if any of my beer tubing UK friends have seen this one, let me know, even if you didn't pick it up. I was just curious to know if this actually made it over there or not. So yeah, sounds pretty good to me. Citra, Nelson, dry hopped, the whole nine. Let's get into it. I picked this up at the One Stop Brew Shop in Rochester, New York. They brought back a bunch of Finback beer from New York City, and this was one of the beers that kind of caught my eye because I'm like, man, collaboration with Little Leeds Beer House, Citra, Nelson, double IPA, right in my wheelhouse. So that pours out a very milky yellow color, about a finger of a HL white head, pretty creamy looking. But yeah, that looks like so many of these Finback double IPAs and just basically New England style IPAs that I've been drinking lately has a very similar look to most of them. Anyway, let's get a nose. Ooh, that's delicious. So yeah, that Nelson, there's definitely white grape, white wine. It has a little bit like passion fruit and lychee, probably, you know, from the Citra and the Nelson. Has like a nice peach gummy ring vibe too. Has a really nice herbaceous spiciness to it that I'm picking up on. Yeah, dank, herbal. Has like a biscuity malt sweetness, almost like a honey malt sweetness to it. It seems it's going to be a bit to the sweeter side, but I kind of expect that 8.6% New England style IPA, right? Or double IPA. Yeah, it smells pretty damn delicious. Let's get into it. Cheers. Yep. I don't know what... and I've said this in like almost every single Finback review, and I just want to hammer home the point, I guess. I don't know what Finback has been doing in the last year and a half, but I've had some of their earlier beers going back 2 or 3 years ago, and they were solid, they were good, but man, over the last year or so, they have really been just killing it, and this is a prime example. This mouthfeel, upper echelon when it comes to whatever New England style IPA brews you want to talk about. It's so soft and smooth and creamy. There's carbonation there, but it just has such an inviting mouthfeel to it. And 8.6%, this is like higher side of medium body, low side of full body. This is one of the bigger bodies on a sub 9% IPA that I've maybe ever had. I'm probably just using a lot of flaked oats, flaked wheat, stuff like that. They don't mention lactose. I feel like they would. Man, as you can see, I'm just kind of taking this down. I haven't even talked about the flavor yet. Wow, so the flavor carries over. Not to a T, but that white grape, white wine from the Nelson, passion fruit, lychee. There is more citrus in the taste, actually, though. Sweeter orange vibes to it, almost like a juicy orange. Ruby red grapefruit, tangerine. I believe that's a plane. Might be the first time in a review that a plane's going overhead. But there is this nice omnipresent, herbaceous, dank, almost spicy character. And it rides along with all those juicy, fruity characters to kind of break up the monotony of just like straight on juicy, sweeter fruit note. I mean, that's what you kind of expect from New England style IPAs, right? Fruit, juiciness. But I think this would be a little bit too sweet without that. That said, it does finish to the sweeter side. Has a slightly dry finish, slightly bitter finish, but mostly sweet. 8.6%. I can't really detect it on the palate. There's a warming in the chest down to the stomach, which indicates to me I would probably guess like 7.5%, 8%. So it drinks like an 8.6% beer, but in this day and age, that kind of just means it drinks extremely well. Not much more to say about it. It's they pretty much hit the nail on the head for what they're going for. It's not you know, the best double IPA I've ever had, but it might be one of the best, like I said, the best sub 9% bodies when it comes to any kind of hop forward beers that I've had recently. So body and mouthfeel, they knocked it out of the park. I would say straight on flavor wise, this is like a 4.25 out of 5, but because of that epic body and mouthfeel, I'm gonna give Fast Flowing from Finback in collaboration with the Little Leeds Beer House I'm gonna give it a straight on 4.5 out of 5. I think it's deserving of that. If you see this on shelves, when I post this, I don't know how old this will be. It might be, honestly, it might be in the like 4, 5, 6 month range, or 4, 5, 6 month range, the 4, 5, 6 week range. And I would say pick it up. This is drinking extremely well as is, and I don't think a couple weeks on this is really gonna do it a disservice. I think it should be just as good. So that was Fast Flowing from Finback and Little Leeds Beer House, 4.5 out of 5. If you've had this one, let me know what you think about it. Appreciate you guys stopping by for another beer review. Until the next one, cheers.